Alright, all the paper caps have been removed. Well, that's the way I like to usually work. Just goes so much faster because they're always all bad. So why not just take them all out at once? Now I left most of the resistors in there. I spot checked a few, especially these power resistors, and they're a bit high. But they're not open, they're not incredibly off value, so I think it'll be alright. And I didn't check all the small ones, so there could be issues throughout. The only ones I did replace are the power ones down here because I know they're problematic from other sets. And this guy, which was obviously pretty fried, should be a 1K resistor, and it measured, I think, like 50 ohms or something, so something bad happened there. Alright, oh, and I left these two electrolytics in, because they seem to work okay in the other set. I'll replace them eventually. I just kind of want to get this set done quick. This is just for bias, low voltage, low current bias supply. So that's selenium rectifier off the tube filament. This makes like -6 volts DC for the contrast and AGC. Alright, so I think that's going to be it underneath for now. Oh, except I'll clean up the tuner because, man, that thing is filthy. And then I'll move to the top side. I still have to clean up the chassis a bit. Most of the tubes are missing, and I need to replace the giant power resistor that's inside the high voltage cage. As I'd hoped, underneath all that dirt, the chassis is quite clean. No corrosion at all. Here's a look inside the high voltage cage. Now in here things are a little bit uglier. That flyback, I'm not saying it's bad, but looks like it's seen a little bit of heat over the years. So, kind of nasty looking. Assuming it is good, what I may just do is just hit it a little bit with a heat gun and see if I can reflow that wax. This has the original fuse holder in it, and that fuse is good, and it's the right type, so somebody didn't jam a larger fuse in there and break it. But by larger, I don't mean larger amperage, I mean physically larger, like happened with the other chassis. So now the challenge is to hunt down tubes. It looks like I've got a total of 3 tubes out of about 20, so I need to find a whole bunch of tubes. I filled the setup with tubes, and although I haven't replaced the power resistor in the high voltage cage, I'm going to try powering this setup anyways. So if you recall from the earlier chassis, I struggled for all that time trying to figure out why the set had too much width, and it was because that resistor was burned out. So I know the set can actually run fine without that resistor being in the circuit. The width is just more than it should be. I also did not replace the electrolytic capacitors in the upper chassis. I'm just kind of holding out hope that they have a little bit of life left. And I have my restored, or one of the restored lower chassis that's I already know is good, although we have the flashover issue. So here goes. As I've said often enough, I hate this part of the restoration. Turn down the variac a little bit. So I don't want to stress this thing out too much. And what the heck, here goes. It's good. Tubes are lighting up in both chassis, so I know that the power switch is good, the AC line's good. Oh, wow. And we got a raster. I got sound out of this speaker, so it's noise anyways. Now the height could be too low. That's part CRT2. The height could be too small because the electrolytic caps might be a little bit shot. So a little bit of sound, but no dice. That's weird. Fine tuning on this. Just goes and goes and goes. There should be a stop on it. But something broke on that a little bit. It looks like the height's slowly increasing, so I bet one of the caps is forming up. So I'm going to turn it off for a bit. So that's a very good sign. Obviously, nothing catastrophic is wrong with it. It's got high voltage, got a raster. It's all excellent. I turned it off because I want to check the CAN capacitors, which are on the other side of the chassis, and I can't reach right now. I want to see if they're getting warm, and I want to hook up a signal source too. Maybe I'm not getting sound because I don't have a good antenna or a signal source. I was hoping to pick up channel 6. I just hooked up a crude antenna, and yeah, I'm actually picking something up. The focus control is good. I'm glad. I went through a few sets earlier, and the focus control is burned out on them. Alright, so let's see if we can get horizontal lock. Interesting. So if there's no signal, we get static, but when there is actually a signal, we get nothing. The volume control is dirty, obviously. Looks like the horizontal oscillator is running at some multiple of the correct frequency. So I can kind of get it to stop scrolling now and then, but I see multiple images on the screen. So I'll try adjusting the coarse horizontal adjust. Let's see, a can down here. Looks like it's been adjusted quite far because it's in almost all the way. But somebody was screwing with it. Huh, I wonder if it's broken. So I can't get my tool to engage on it. Turn this set off and take a closer look at it. Let's see, there's a flashlight. So what is up? I think that might be broken off. There's supposed to be a split in the shaft so you can get a tool on it and adjust it. Well, as I said, I do have spares, but for now, I'll see if I can just get a... I can grip on it with my thumb and finger and just adjust it like that. So I just went counterclockwise 3 or 4 rotations. Till that had some effect because it just squealed when the set turned on. But I'll reach over there and adjust it while looking at the screen. Try not to electrocute my cell phone too. Hey, alright. Just about at the maximum extent of the adjustment range on it. I can already tell that this set behaves quite a bit differently than the other set. That could very well be because I've got resistors that are out of tolerance. And the electrolytics haven't been replaced yet. The brightness and contrast behave a bit differently. I'm having trouble getting a picture that, well, is good. Let's just say that. Of course, you don't have sound, which was one of the big reasons I wanted to do this exercise. And the other thing was 5u4 flashover, so I'll let this set cool down and I'll pay more attention when I turn it on and see if that tube is flashing over. Alright, let's see if we get any flashover when I turn the set on. Yeah, I think just a little glimmer of blue in this guy. Try a different one. Yep. Alright, so exactly what I wanted to find out. So I think the other upper chassis is working correctly, and it's just something probably about the new capacitors, that they have a lower ESR or something than the original type caps in here, and it's just putting a bit too much strain on the 5u4 and power up, so I'll put something in series with it, like a surge limiting thermistor. What about that sound? One simple thing I can try doing is adjusting the station, or rather the oscillator slug on the tuner. Just figure out where the heck I put my tool for adjusting it. Here it is. So so we got nothing. Certainly made things worse. Try going the other way. There's some sound. There's plenty of sound. Picture's just horrible though. But part of that though is that as we know from the other set, these IF cans can have bad mic caps in them, and the alignment could be all messed up on this. But now the last thing I wanted to find out was how does it work with this converter box. Okay, let's see how it works straight off the converter box. If you recall, in the other chassis, I would get a really poor sound out of the converter box unless I took the output of it and fed it through an RF modulator. But first I want to try doing the RF right out of that box. Helps if I turn it on. sign. I see that horrible, those really bright vertical lines. I think that will be reduced when I get that resistor that I left out of the circuit in there. Wow, is that linearity messed up? And no sound. Alright, let's try adjusting the tuning slug. You have to rotate the fine-tuning control so a hole appears over slug so you can get at it. Alright, terrible sound, just like the other set. No, it may seem weird for me to say this, but that's what I was hoping to find. Because that, again, means that I think the other set's working fine. If I have two sets that both behave in the same manner. Now, the last thing I'll do is I'll go through the external RF modulator. Okay, so now, converter box, composite output, external RF modulator into the TV. When I did that with the other chassis, I got clean sound, although the volume wasn't all that great. I think we just got an unfortunate moment in the programming when there's not much to hear except a little bit of engine noise. Alright, so this is behaving like the other set. I get better sound when I go through the external RF modulator. Also, this set has a brighter picture tube for sure. Really nice. Yeah, terrible picture quality, sure, but it is nice and bright. See if I can find something where there's some actual dialogue in here.
Chemicals, poisons, and traps. Dr. Bader's book will give you the easy, humane way to keep away nuisance animals naturally. This 2-volume collection is a must for every home. But we're not done yet. Be one of the first 500 people to order. Dr. Bader.
There we go, that's better. Alright, so obviously the set has a ways to go, but not bad for basically just one day's work.
What are you doing, Ralph? Oh, on my way home, I passed the Monic Furniture Store. And they got a bowl just like this in the window. And they got jelly beans in it. Right over the bowl is a sign that says, count how many jelly beans are in this jar, and you get a $100 prize.